Whew, whew, whew. All right, everybody. It is officially 2020, so it has been a year since I made a video. Is what it feels like. I've definitely been slacking on the video making for the last, I'd say, month and a half. Good reason for it, though. We were working on and finally secured our biggest donation so far of our, I think, 5, maybe 6 years now of doing what we do. That is not the topic for this video. That will be the topic for next video. This video is about a recap of everything that went down in 2019. Starting with, I believe we ran, I was going to try to do video clips of all the trips that we ran, but some of them were edited on this computer, some of them were on my laptop, some of them were on my iPad, and trying to get everything. It was just a big old headache. So now you just have to listen to me ramble on for hopefully not that many minutes. I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. We ran 3 big ice fishing trips this past winter. Our biggest one yet, I believe we had 14 or 15 actual participants, and along with 7 or 8 awesome volunteers. Other one we had somewhere right around 14, 15 kids or something like that. That was an absolute riot. Probably one of our best ice fishing trips yet. Never had so much fun as we did trying to keep up with a whole bunch of hooligans running across the ice, chasing down tip-ups. Last ice fishing trip of the year was our Fishing for Freedom Unison event, which was supposed to just be an absolute banger. We had 20 people that were supposed to show up, majority coming from Marquette to Munising, which we had terrible weather, highway was closed, ended up with 1 guy showing up. So the rest of them did not miss out on anything, really, because we only caught 2 fish. Going into spring, the first trip we started off with this spring was mid to late April. We did a spring salmon fishing trip with Captain John of the old Daybreak Charters. Unfortunately, he got out of the game and is now a full-time resident of Texas. We kind of panicked at the moment because we didn't really have any other charter captains that we felt comfortable taking our people out with, but we found another great one in the Marquette area. So spring salmon trip, we trolled just right around the harbor, and I mean, caught a king, I think 2 or 3 steelhead, and 3 or 4 cohos. So for early spring in Marquette and Lake Superior, that was pretty good. We had 3 veterans for that trip. Then we went into spring a walleye, traveled down to southeast Michigan, fished Lake Erie, had 5 veterans plus me. So we had 6 people total, ended up with a 6-man limit of walleye, which for Lake Erie is 6 per person. Ended up with 36 walleyes in a matter of 4 hours, and probably, and 2 bonus perch. Probably caught 2-3 times that many. Not keepers, had to throw back. Probably caught over 100 walleyes in just a couple of hours. From there, we went. Wow, brain fart. From there, we went to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and did something that I personally never experienced before, and that is fished for carp. We had a group home full of disabled and mentally challenged adults, as well as a bunch of kids. It was free fishing weekend here in Michigan, which is an awesome thing. For 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, anybody can go fishing, and they don't require to have a fishing license. And apparently at this we were in Gallup Park in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Apparently the day we were down there was a big Pokemon Go tournament, so there was a ton of people, all ages, all walks of life, all just everything. And they see all these crazy people out with a whole bunch of fishing rods. Hey, what's going on? Like, oh, not a whole lot, just fishing. Hey, fish on, you want to reel it in? So we probably had 20, 25 people that were just in the park that got to reel in their first fish. And this was a pretty eye-opening experience, because for somebody that has fished their entire life, you think it would just be common sense. You hand somebody a fishing pole, they see the reel, and they start reeling. And for some people, it was the farthest thing. It was like you handed them a scalpel and told them to perform brain surgery. Definitely an eye-opening experience there. All of the group home people that we had out for that had a great time. From there, we went over to the west side of the state, fished Manistee on Lake Michigan, did a day of lake trout fishing as well as a day of chasing king salmon. One day was straight out of hell. I mean, deadliest catch style stuff. Scary, 8-10 footers. Next day was flat calm. So we got the best of both worlds on that trip. going back to what I forgot about from the spring, we attempted to do a spring turkey hunt with Michigan Outdoors. Had a great buddy who is born with spina bifida and is also starting to do an organization very similar to what we do. Shout out to you, buddy. We had Michigan Outdoors out. We were surrounded by turkeys. I mean, probably 30, 40 turkeys all up in the trees, all around us. Needless to say, they were the smartest turkeys in the world. Luckily, the guy that donated his property for us to hunt on also had a stocked rainbow trout pond full of like 24 to 32-inch rainbows. Got to do some fishing, had a good time there. Back to when we did our lake trout trip, salmon trip. The rules were, I think the first trip we had 4 veterans. Second trip there was a back-to-back weekend. Second trip there we had 2 or 3 veterans. I believe 2. It would have been way better if I could have pulled together the footage, but just stick with me. Then we rolled into goose season, which we had a total of 9 veterans and I believe 13 or 14 just everyday people that just never been goose hunting before. From there, that's really about it, honestly. Didn't goose hunt too much towards the last couple of weeks of the season. Duck hunting was, I mean, piss poor to say the least this year. But pretty much for the end of the year, we just worked on donations. And needless to say, Hunters for Life has something very, very, very special planned for 2020. So thank you guys for sticking up with us, putting up with us this long. And hopefully you got another year in us because we've got quite a few more. Anywho, this video was kind of all over the place. I have learned that I should start taking notes, which I do not have in front of me right now. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. More videos to come on a more frequent basis. I promise. Finally getting the GoPros charged back up. It's been a minute. I had to find them too. That was a big thing. But anywho, now I'm just rambling. Anywho, thank you for watching. Happy adventures.